Okay, hello everyone, welcome back. Today I'm going to be doing something really fun. I'm going to be showing you guys how my husband and I have made our house feel like a home. That is like one of the most important things, is that your house feels homey and like your own. And I think we have some really unique, fun stuff in our house and makes it feel like our home. So let me show you. So first thing, I'm going to start in our entryway right here. As you walk in, there's this little shelf, and here is this, these are two plants that have actually grown off of my bigger plant. And then this little J&M plaque. That plaque was actually made by Joe's uncle, and he made that for us when we had hardly started dating. Like, we'd hardly been together. But he ended up knowing what was what, because Joe and I have been married now for over a year, and we have that plaque right in our entryway because it's just so sweet and special. All right, now in our bathroom, we have our sink here, the towel, and then right above that here, we have this little picture postcard of Chicago. It's of one of the subway systems in Chicago. Chicago is where Joe and I met. So many wonderful memories in Chicago and riding the CTA, and actually bought that on one of our fun adventures in Chicago. I was like, we really should buy like a postcard, and I was gonna send it to someone, and then I decided I really just wanted it framed. So that's in our bathroom, and every time I look at it, it just makes me feel nostalgic and happy because we have so many good memories in Chicago, and not even just of Joe and I, but like of me with my friends, and I just love it. All right, moving into our kitchen. One of the things that I love the most is photos. Photos in a home just make it feel so unique. And so right here as you walk in, there is this picture from our wedding of us walking out, leaving the tent to go on our honeymoon, and that is just the craziest. It was such a good time and such good vibes, and I love that picture so much. And then throughout my house, there are so many flowers. My birthday was just recently, so Joe bought me so many flowers, and they're just scattered all around the house, and I love that. Okay, and then another thing we have in our kitchen is these pots above our cabinet. These were given to us by Joe's parents. So Joe grew up overseas in Mali, and I believe it's in Mali. I don't want to get this wrong, but I think it's like a tradition where a newlywed couple will get these pots as like a gift, and so his parents gave us these pots as a gift, like a nod to where Joe grew up, but also just they're very pretty, so we display them above the cabinets here. I love looking at these because they're so beautiful. And then I have this ivy, which I've been trying to train to come down the side. It kind of halfway died one time, but I've had that ivy since probably freshman year of high school. It has been in all of my rooms so I've had it for so many years. Something else about me is that I absolutely love color. I love a pop of color in the home, and this definitely is that. It's right above our sink, a little hymn. And my sister bought me that beautiful scripted hymn, and I just love it, and I put it in that green frame, and it sits above my sink, and I can read it, and it just reminds me of the love of the Lord and fills me with joy. And last thing in our kitchen is this little tea shelf, which if you watched my organization video just recently, I did. And those little honey jars were actually our wedding favors. And so it's really fun because I still have 3 of them left, and I have them displayed there. And it just reminds me of our wedding and how wonderful and fun it was. And they're just really cute. Okay, now moving on to our living room. Joe and I have always had a dream of having a beach-themed home. We'd love to one day have a home that just completely is decked out with beach decor and like blue and turtles, all things beach. And so this little corner over here, I have my desk and where I keep my planner, but I also have this photo, which I still need to get a frame for, so it's just propped up here on the table, but it's actually hand-painted from a place in Maine, the Nubble Lighthouse, where I've gone my entire life growing up. My dad actually bought this for me as a gift one year, and it says my name, Meghan, on the little boat there. And there was a man in Maine who would always sit out front, and he would paint the lighthouse, and he would sell his paintings, and I love that painting so much, so I still need to get a frame for it, but it just reminds me of all the amazing vacations. And Joe and I actually just recently last summer went on vacation to Maine, and so it just has so many happy memories. And then at a thrift store, Joe and I actually went and bought this clock, which should also get hung at some point, but I kind of like it in the corner of my desk there, and we can't wait to hang it in our beach-themed home one day. Again, more flowers. But here above our pellet stove is this beautiful painting. A woman at our church My church growing up actually painted those, and she was such a talented painter. And when she moved away, she gave us a couple of paintings, my mom and I, and that's the one I chose. And I think it's just so beautiful. It really engages my imagination. I always like want to come up with a story and I feel like it should be set in a book. This is my newest addition. This is my record player. Joe recently got me this record player for my birthday, and I was so stoked about it, and we can't wait to start growing our record collection. All right, we're in my baby's nursery now. My baby's nursery is filled with nostalgia and happiness. So here we have his little dresser. These dried leaves here are actually what were on the table at my baby shower, and so I love that they're here. It's just fun. And then this little picture collage here is obviously him at 20 weeks. So fun. This is actually a card my sister gave me at the baby shower that I thought was so cute and I had to frame. And here is just "'Tis so sweet to trust in Jesus." I think it is beautiful, and they're all so fun and encouraging. Here above his changing table are these two beautiful pictures. These were actually gifts to my dad from a student from overseas, and they are just the most beautiful artwork. And my dad let me have them and put them in the nursery, and that's just really special and sweet. Over here on this chair is this little blanket. It's so beautiful and detailed. Look at the embroidery. And I did talk about this as well in my past videos, but that is a blanket that when I was very young, probably 7 years old, my dad and I went to an antique shop, and I saw that blanket and I mentioned how beautiful it was and how much I loved it. And so my dad surprised me with it for my birthday, and it warms my heart when I see it, because it made me feel very known and seen and heard by my father. The fact that he heard me say that and he went out and got it for me as a surprise, and I love it, and I love that it's in our nursery. And last thing in our nursery, this beautiful seashell display. This is hanging right above G's crib. This holds special meaning to me because I really wanted one when I went to Maine with my best friend, Michaela, at the time. And she was like, "Why would you buy one?" Because we were in the store and they were like $30. And she was like, "We'll just make one." So we collected those seashells from the shores in Maine, collected that driftwood, and we made that at home. And it's really special and cute. It goes with the vibe, and it hangs right above his crib, and I love it. And lastly, in our bedroom, we have this beautiful wood-burned piece of wood that I want to hang up here, but we need to get a piece of wire to hang it up with. But it's very beautiful. Someone in Joe's family wood-burned it for us, and I think it just has so much character, and it's so fun. And the last thing are these shot glasses. Joe and I are collecting shot glasses from everywhere we've been, but he has a couple of his own as well, so let me walk you through them. He has one from Senegal. We went there together. This one is so beautiful. This one is so beautiful and hand painted. Look at that. So beautiful. I love that. His mom brought this one home from Scotland. Carlsbad. Joe's been there. And then Joe and I picked this one up on our most recent trip to Maine. Our last vacation. So those are really fun. We have more. Those are just the ones displayed in here. So those are just a few of the things that make our house a home, and we love them so much. I hope you enjoyed. Thanks guys. See you next time.